passage about John and what was written here. So I'm going to read that for us too today. But start our practice in. Lord, thank you for bringing us together to practice yoga and meditate on your word. God, there's so many things swirling in my head. I've tried to meditate this morning, and I think I just kept thinking and then telling myself to stop thinking and get back to what I was breathing in and out. And so I know that I need to move my body. And sometimes in moving our bodies, we can finally still our minds a little bit. So I pray that prayer for me and for Rebecca and Pam and anybody else who watches this video, that just this movement will help your mind still. And I pray over just what we're going to read today, that it will really permeate our minds and our hearts. Even, that some of these words we've heard before, maybe many, many times, and just that your word is living, breathing. And so it changes how it is applied to us. We praise you, God, for that. We praise you that you're inside of us. And we don't have to go anywhere. The God of us. So today, let's start just like we did last week in child's posture, just a posture of bowing before. And I wrote a little bit last week about how that posture is, how they would get prostrate a lot of times in their worship to get down to the hymn, like to really get down low. So I think this is just a great place for us to start and begin to come into our body, just to feel and see where there might be some tension or where there might be some freedom. And also begin to notice your breath. Maybe notice your inhale. If you can direct it through your nose. And direct the exhale out your nose. Maybe let that inhale lengthen. And let the exhale be a tad longer. You don't have to count or anything, but just invite on just a little bit longer with the exhale out. Maybe you notice where the breath is going. So are you taking in your air and breathing in and puffing the chest, expanding the chest?
Or maybe today you focus a little bit more on sending the breath lower in your torso towards the belly and pelvic region. Letting your belly expand. And then as you exhale, letting it engage and come up. So in this posture, you might feel it kind of drop between the legs a little bit more on the inhale. And then exhale, feel it come and retract. As you're ready, inhale, begin to lift the hips up, come to a tabletop position. And let's find some cow and cat breaths here. Or maybe some circles. Kind of wiggling side to side. Your inhale is your cow breath. Your belly drops, it's to disengage. In through the nose, and then maybe out through the nose, then the belly comes up and engages. Head and neck are heavy. So while you're taking this flow, I'm going to read to you this little paragraph in the message about John. Matthew, Mark, and Luke write like kayakers on a swiftly flowing river with occasional patches of white water. There's never any doubt that they're going where the course of the river takes them, but John is more like a canoe on a quiet lake, drifting unhurriedly, paddling leisurely to take in the sights along the shoreline, noticing rock formations, observing a blue heron fishing in the rushes, and pausing and drifting to sketch cloud patterns reflected in the glassy water. So as we get ready to travel the smoothly flowing rhythms of John's prose, prepare yourself for some breathtaking scenery. So come back to just a flat back and walk your hands out to the front of your mat and keep your hips high, melting heart. So letting the heart pour toward the mat. Maybe your head comes down, maybe your chest or chin comes down. Take a minute to breathe here just as you've been in and out. And maybe you bring in the Ujjayi breath, so the inhale through the nose, and then constricting the throat, exhale through the nose. So that constriction might help you slow that breath down a little bit. And this might make your breath a little audible to yourself. You constrict. And begin to lift up a little bit. Take this right arm out to the side. Thread it right through underneath you and come down onto the shoulder here. So I'm going to begin. So you're threading the needle. I'm going to begin to read John 1 through 5. The Word was first, the Word present to God, God present to the Word. The Word was God, in readiness for God from day one. Everything was created through him. Nothing, not one thing came into being without him. What came into existence was life, and the life was light to live by. The light blazed out the darkness. The darkness couldn't put it out. On your next inhale, just begin to lift that arm back through center. Come back to your melting heart with your head or chin or chest to the floor. Take a breath here. And then you're going to take the left arm to the left side and thread it right through and come down on the left shoulder. Stretch here. So there was once a man, his name John, sent by God to point out the way of the life light. He came to show everyone where to look, who to believe in. John was not himself the light. He was there to show the way to the light. The life light was the real thing. Every person entering the life he brings into light. He was in the world The world was there for him, and yet the world didn't even notice. He came to his own people, but they didn't want him. And whoever did want him, who believed he was who he claimed and would do what he said, he made to be their true selves, their child of God selves. These are the God begotten, not blood begotten, not flesh begotten, not sex begotten. Begin to lift that left arm, come back through center again. Have a breath through center. And then walk those hands back to meet up underneath your shoulders. Take another cat or cow or even those kind of wiggles side to side. Just kind of exploring what you might need. You want to walk those hands out just a little bit and tuck the toes. We're going to lift up into a plank here. Breathing. So lifting, finding a line that's long and looking out maybe about a foot and a half above the mat. Shoulders back and down. Press back down when you're facing dog. And then pedal out or find stillness here, whatever you kind of need. Let's first down dog. Keep the breath in through the nose, out through the nose, maybe constricting the throat. So find Ujjayi breath and slowly exhale down just a bit. Your next inhale, bend your knees, take your gaze forward, and exhale, step to the front of the mat. Next inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, big mountain posture, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. So formulating your breath prayer today can be really simple. It might be something you heard in the scripture. It might be something you walked in here with, or what you cried out and called God. Let that be your inhale. You might not have anything with your exhale today. It might be silence or it might be the same word. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, big swan dive all the way back to the earth. Inhale, half lift. Long back, long spine, shoulders back. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back. You're back to your plank. This time, exhale, lower half, chaturanga. Inhale, halfway lift. Cobra, excuse me. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Let's go through that again. Inhale, bend knees, look forward, step forward. Exhale. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, mountain, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, breath prayer here. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, swan. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, plank, lower half. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Okay, one more. Inhale, bend the knees forward. Exhale, step it forward. Inhale, half. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands, heart, breath there. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, big swan. Inhale, half. Exhale, plant those hands, step the feet back, lower halfway. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts and opens up. So toe opens up to the right side. And then square yourself back up to those shoulders and bend your right knee. Breathing here. Straighten the leg, bring the toes so they're facing back toward the earth. Bring the knee all the way through. Slowly hover the knee. Breathe here. Set the foot down. Set the knee down, rise up, crescent lunge. Inhale, raise up. Exhale, cactus the arms. Let's take a few more of these. Inhale, arms up. The palms can be facing forward. Exhale, cactus. Maybe the eyes even closed at different parts of this practice for you today. Just staying in your body. Exploring balance. When the arms come back up, take the hands forward, tip the fingers. Maybe you step that foot a little bit ahead, and then begin to press back, straightening the leg half split. Breathe in here, bring the hand to the earth, tuck the toe, lift the knee, and just take a little twist. Breath. Hand can come back to the earth and walk that right foot out to the right side, lizard lunge. So the knee can always come down, especially because this is our first lizard lunge. If the arms be like that. Maybe you come to the forearms or you stay on your hands or you find your way to a block. And keep the shoulders back and down here, knee in toward you. So we're not pressing it out quite yet. That might be something that you can explore. Let's just keep the knee toward you right now. Bring the hands back underneath. And then you're going to just start to lift the knee if it's not already lifted. And press that right foot back here in your plank posture. Inhale. Exhale, lower half. Inhale, press up over. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg is going to rise. Inhale. Open it up to the left side. Square back up through the shoulders and bend that left knee. We straighten the leg. Bring the knee all the way through. Slowly and hover for a moment. And then step that foot forward, right knee comes down. Inhale, come up again. Maybe you're playing around with closing your eyes here. Exhale, practice. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, practice. Inhale, up. Exhale, practice. Inhale, up. Hands come forward, straighten that leg, and find your half split as you're coming back towards. So your hips are about underneath your knee. Head can really sink down. Head and neck can be kind of heavy here. Bend, bring the right hand down, just a little twist so the right knee can lift. Twist to this other side, breath here. Hands can come back to the earth, walk the left foot out this time. You're in your lizard lunge. So you could be up on your hands, you can bring your knee down, you can come down onto your elbows. Just keep that left knee in toward you. Lots of breath here. Shoulders are going back. So if they're trying to make their way to your ears, just send them on back. If you came down to your elbows, you can restack here. And same thing we did before, come into your plank posture. Inhale, exhale, lower half. Inhale, cobra. And then let's take a child's posture or a tadpole. So child's posture, you have your knees wide and your arms in front. If you want to take tadpole, you just bring your knees together. And then you bring your arms just right along the sides of you. Your arms get a little break too, which is nice. And check in with your breath. There was once a man, his name John, sent by God to point out the way to the life light. He came to show everyone where to look, who to believe in. John was not himself the light. He was there to show the way to the The life light was the real thing. Every person entering the life he brings into the life. He was in the world. The world was there through him. And yet, the world didn't even notice. He came to his own people, but they didn't want him. But whoever did want him, who believed he was who he claimed, and would do what he said, he made to be their true selves, their child of God selves. These are the God begotten, not blood begotten, not flesh begotten, not sex begotten. Begin to pull the arms out in front of you, come to a tabletop, and find some cow and calves. So we're going to find that same flow, just with some variations this time. So come back to your flat back. Bring your hands maybe a little bit forward, tuck your toes, find your plank first. Press through your fingers and then press yourself back, downward facing dog. So take your shoulders here up and back and down. Maybe the head comes a little bit lower. Head around. Right leg lifts. Open it up, bend the knee. Re-straighten, bring it all the way through. Bring the foot down and lead this left knee up this time. So crescent lunge, rise up. Inhale. Exhale, practice. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, practice. One more inhale. Exhale, bring the arms along your sides and bring them behind you if it's available. So if your hands can clasp, great. So humble crescent, lift the chest. So now the knuckles are pointing toward the earth or toward your leg. Breathe. Exhale, let that go. Lift those arms back up and come to a stand at the front of your mat. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center, breath prayer. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, raise to one, all the way to the earth. Inhale, half lift. Exhale. Inhale, step the hands or feet back, hands come to the earth, halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot rises, open it up and bend the knee, breathing. Re-straighten, come through, hover for a moment, think about your foot, where it's going, and come up into your crescent on this other side. Inhale. Exhale, practice the arms. Inhale up. Exhale, practice. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, coming forward and pull those arms around behind you. Maybe they clasp. Press the knuckles down toward the earth and open the heart up, lifting. So the gaze might lift up a little bit more too here. Let go of the hands. Reach it forward. Step it all the way. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, swan. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands and step the feet back. So chaturanga again, lowering, pressing up, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Bring it right on through. Plant it in front of you. Lift up, crescent. Exhale, practice. Bring your hands behind you. Humble. Lift up. Reach forward. Let it go. Bring the left hand down. Reach the right arm up. twist. Right hand comes back around. Walk that right foot out. And maybe you keep this knee lifted. So I come up on my fingertips here. So bright lizard. And then you can kind of go from there. Okay, do I want to go lower with my knee lifted or do I not? Another variation here is to kind of open this up. I really have to go down like this for stability. But that's another little hip opener that we can explore too. So come on back through center, plant the hands, right foot goes back. You're back to your plant, lower halfway. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side. Left leg lifts, comes right through this time. Plant that foot, crescent on the center line. Exhale, practice. Bring those hands together, right in the heart, humble. Let go, reach forward. Right hand comes down, open it up to the other side. Reach back through, come into that bright lizard. Maybe the knee stays up. Maybe you venture down onto a pillow or a block. Maybe you open up. So lots of options here to play around with. Feel your hips and explore. Right. When you're ready, come back through center. Step the left foot back, plank. Lower halfway. Press up to your cobra. Come back to child's posture or tackle. And take a moment to reset with the breath. Bring the arms in front of you. Come through your tabletop. Press through your fingers and lift your wrists. So find a few cow cats or just kind of wagging the tail. There's little circles, whatever you need here, but really lifting the wrists, whatever you do. So giving your wrists a break, working on the fingertips. When you're ready, lower the wrists back to the earth on a flat back. Walk the hands out. Tuck the toes. Lift through downward facing dog. Right leg lifts. Knee comes all the way through. This time, warrior. So warrior one, you wedge that back foot. And then take a look here where the knee is. Just make sure you can see about that big toe or maybe the first two toes. Lift the arms up overhead. So that left edge of the left foot is pressing towards the back of the mat. Breathing, inhale. Exhale, breathe and reach forward. And just swim through it. Hands behind you if it's available. Clasp the fingers, press the knuckles down, brighten up. Warrior, right warrior. And then begin to hinge forward and hinge to where you feel like you can hang your head and lift the knuckles toward the sky. Breathe. Exhale, let the hands go. Bring them inside your foot. Walk your foot out from the ball of the left foot. Right lizard. This time, let's take a moment and step through to Malasana. So I'm going to kind of do it and you guys can follow. You can take as many steps as you like. So you're stepping your way to your feet, both being at 11 and 1 o'clock, and then sitting down in Malasana. Now, ooh, breathing here. So, the shoulders come back and bring the hands on. And begin to lift your hips up and work your feet back underneath your hips. Toes are at 12 o'clock, hang here. So let's find opposite elbows and just find a little space. Side to side swinging. That feels good. You don't have to have movement. Just hang. Back through center. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale. Inhale, rise up, arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart, center, left, breath, prayer. The mantra, your intention, here in yoga. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, big swan. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step the feet back, plank again. Chaturanga. You can always bring the knees down in chaturanga too, but it gets to be a little too much. Bring it back to the downward facing dog, left leg lifts. Exhale, bring it forward. Warrior on this side. Warrior one, arms up. Take a look at your feet. You can always move them. Breathe. Exhale, reach forward. Swim through it. Clasp the hands, right up. And then begin to hinge forward. Find a humble warrior on this side. Let's do something a little different. So exhale, bring the hands to the earth. And we'll still find our lizard, but we're going to go a different way. So ball the right foot, walk the left foot out. Find your lizard lunge on this side. It could be right, it could be lower. And just feeling your way through this other side. The left side is so much tighter for some reason. It tends to be one side for everybody. It's a little bit tighter. And then begin to lift your hips back up, straighten this left leg. You're going to bring your feet in so you're facing on the side of your mat. Yeah, and toes are at 12 o'clock. Fold here. So keep the fold. You're already toward the earth. Fold and down. Plant the left hand, rise up on the right side. So a little twist here. Exhale, hand to earth. Left hand comes out. Right hand stays on the earth. Twist to the other side. Hands back down. Walk your hands back toward that foot to the front of the mat. Follow the right foot. Hands come to the earth. Step that left foot back. Bring your knees to the earth. Bring yourself all the way down this time. Bring your hands up above you. Prone prayer. So hands are together. And sleep through. Completely laying down on the front side of your body. And let your legs relax here. Let your glutes relax. I even let my hands relax. And it's just kind of like my fingertips touching one another. Breathing. Begin to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders. And then go cobra here. Few extra breaths. We've been through cobra, but we've been there so quickly in this practice so far. And then begin to press your hips back. And you can either sit on your feet or come to a simple seat. Either one is going to be fine. So we're going to try cow face and do some different arms with cow face today. So it's a hip opener. And if you want it, swing your legs around in front of you. So I kind of show some different ways to get into this. And we have blankets and blocks. But if you're at home, you might want pillows, whatever you've got kind of available. I'm going to put this, oh gosh, that's my Jesus. My little Jesus statue. I'm saying, God, Jesus didn't fall down. Oh, so God. Here, I got to fix some. That's going to just bother me. I'll see him in the screen and be like, don't fall. Okay, and bolster too if you need that. So we'll start like this. So there's always half cow face. So we're going to bend the right knee, bring it toward you, and then just step that right foot over. Okay, so this is like a kind of a half cow face where we start to work this right foot toward our left hip. So you're just kind of working, you're going to come on the side of the right foot, and this right knee is going to start to stack. So this is sometimes where people are like, ooh, I want something right here to support. So you just kind of gauge what you feel here. So half cow face. And then if you feel pretty good about this and you want to start moving that left foot, you're going to roll back a little bit, like almost like you're kind of lifting this whole situation up, and start to work onto the left side of your left foot and start to kind of work it back to where it feels okay. And then find where you're at. Yeah. This is also a great place where you can kind of touch your feet, massage your feet, say hello to the feet that work really, really hard. And I'm usually having to be smushed in shoes. I don't really want that. I don't think. I'm just saying. So we've been opening our chest and our shoulders a little bit in this practice. So let's, instead of traditional kind of eagle arms, where we find some twists, we're going to find our arms up and then back behind us. And if it feels good, maybe you clasp fingers. The other option would be to clasp elbows. So you're kind of doing this, you're here, maybe you're here, or maybe you want to take reverse prayer, which is here. It depends on where your shoulders are at today. So we don't have to push anything. Lots of breath. So if you would like, you could hinge forward. You might not want to hinge forward. You might say, no, I'm just happy to be here. I got in the posture, and we're here. But if you would like to hinge, that might find a little more intensity, and then your head and neck can be heavy, of course. Inhale, begin to lift, slowly taking your time. You might even exhale and pause if you're folded. And then slowly release the arms. And then come back through. So while we're here, we're going to find another kind of Converse Arm Posture. So just taking this left arm around in front over you, pulling it this way. And letting it
go. And you've had enough on that side, and then just switching sides. So left arm can come around, right arm can come around, the left arm can pull on. And exhale, come out of that. And then I like to slowly get out of this leg situation because we're all kind of twisted up. So I take my hands like I'm, moving furniture. And then take a moment to let that energy flow here. So just a moment, breath. And then let's bend the left knee and bring the left foot over. And the same thing, we'll just work it onto this left side of the foot and begin to bring it to whatever place feels comfortable. And then if we like where we're at and we want to move this right leg, we can start to roll back a little bit and then start to work it onto the right side toward that other hip. And then get any props that you might need here. So same thing with the arms. I'm going to inhale, bring the arms up over. Exhale, bring them behind. And again, it might be clasping the fingers, which you may have already done in the other postures. It might be grabbing opposite elbows, or it might be reversing your prayer. So you start with the fingers usually pointing down and kind of pull the prayer back up where the fingers are pointing up. Breathing here. And then if you want a little fold, if you really feel grounded in your sits bones, you want to hinge the hips and come forward and leave the bottom on the earth. And then let the head and neck hang heavy here. And breathing here. So noticing how different our breath can be in these different places. And really, it's hard to tell until we stay in a posture for any length of time. And then you can say, oh, wow, I kind of feel like I'm breathing differently here. I'm more shallow, or there's constriction in my belly, or, oh, I'm more open here. The fold slowly coming up. Exhale, taking a pause. Inhale, coming up. Releasing the hands. Yeah, and the same thing that we did before. So I'm just going to cross the left first. Stretch here. And then let that go. And then bring the right arm through. And we'll stretch to this other side. Exhale. And then moving carefully out, just moving that left leg and then the right. And letting the energy flow back through where it needs to go. So let's bend our knees. Your feet can be about hip width apart. And then grab a hold of your hamstrings, shoulders back and down, begin to lean back. And your belly's going to hollow, which means that
belly button is going to come a little bit more toward the spine on both the inhale and the exhale. So you have engagement on both the inhale and the exhale, which is complete opposite of what we've been saying this whole time, right? So find that engagement, breathe your shoulders back and down if they're trying to help you out, which might always want to. It's like this, but they're not needed here. The core is doing a lot of the work. You might even let go of the hands here, breathing. And then with control, begin to let the legs come out. Canoe if you would like, or just come all the way to the earth with your knees bent. Either way, arms can come up above you and press your hands and your feet away on your inhale. So just getting really, really long on your inhale. And then exhale, stay, relax. Two more like that. Inhale, get really long. And exhale, stay. Exhale, stay. Start to walk the feet up toward you. Take your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Find the rocks or rolls or whatever you might need here. And then bring the arms out either into a T or cactus. So you might find you have a little bit more opening today in the shoulder region and traps. So you might take cactus today. You can always prop something underneath the elbows and the forearms. And then let the knees fall to the right. So spinal twist to the right. So once you kind of settle in here and you drop that left shoulder closer to the earth, maybe you exhale and take the gaze to the left side. It's a little neck stretch. Bring your gaze back through center. Inhale, begin to lift the knees back through center. And find your feet up above you, waterfall. So you can bend your knees as much as you need. You could flex or point or find a combination. Nice to roll the ankles here. And bring the tailbone toward the earth. Engaging the core a lot, both from the inhale and the exhale. Keep these legs up above you. And then the knees come into the chest again. Arms are in that T or cactus shape. And then the knees are going to fall to the left. And notice if, my shoulder wants to come up, just letting it settle as much as it can toward the earth. You can always take a blanket or a bolster in between your knees. So any support you need here, and still find some tension. And then your exhale can take your gaze to the right. Just giving you a little neck stretch. Inhale, bring the gaze back for the ceiling. And bring the knees back through center. This time, grab a hold of your feet or your shins, happy baby, and find stillness or a little rock here. Knees coming toward your armpits. And when you're ready, find your place of rest, whatever that looks like. It could be tadpole or child's posture that we kept going back to. If that's a more restful place, it could be just lying here on your back and using any props you have to kind of brush your head or your knees if you need a bolster or something under the knees. And I'm going to read our scripture one last time in our quiet. There once was a man, his name was John, sent by God to point out the way to the life light. He came to show everyone where to look, who to believe in. John was not himself the light. He was there to show the way to the light. The life light was the real thing. Every person entering life he brings into life. He was in the world was there through him, and yet the world didn't even notice. He came to his own people, but they didn't want him. But whoever did want him, who believed he was who he claimed and would do what he said, he made to be their true selves, their child of God selves. These are the God begotten, not blood begotten, not flesh begotten, not sex begotten. And begin. Find some small movements and bring your voluntary breath back. And roll to one side or the other when you would like, to a fetal posture, gifting yourself a few inhales and exhales through your nose. Softening that belly on the inhale, engaging it, bringing it in on the exhale. And bring whatever arm is on top, that hand can come near your face to just press up to a simple seat. And we'll pray.